Hey, welcome to this video. My name is Mano Ramado, the resuscitation coach himself. And you will remember the other day I raised a question, and a lot of people gave me feedback because they wanted to understand exactly what is it that I actually meant about schooling and the the way that the schools were actually operating these days. And if you remember very well, my question was based on why are Black Township schools and Black Township learners finding themselves at school for 6 or 7 days? Why do we have schools that are open forever and maybe even during holidays where learners are expected to be at school every single day of the holiday? Don't they deserve a bit of break? Don't the teachers deserve also a little bit of a break for them to rejuvenate? And that, after that video, after that post, I promised you that I'm going to do a particular video. And here we are today. Now, the same question still persists. Why are schools, Black Township and village schools, operating 6 to 7 days? Why don't we have teachers going on holiday in those particular schools? Because it's open during the holidays. As we are talking now, this is April. And of course, a lot of schools have been open for a number of days. Why is it in that way? And another thing that I actually get worried about is while Black Township schools and village schools are open, the former Model C white schools, which, by the way, between 50 and 70% of learners in those schools are black learners. Why do they close immediately when Friday comes, and then they and then they reconnect again on Monday? Why do they close at the end of the holidays, at the end of the schooling term, but then they reopen after the particular holiday, but they come back when the holidays are over? This is the big question that I'm actually asking. And I do know that the majority of the schools that we are talking about, come the results, you will find that these schools that are opening almost 7 days a week and that are also operating during holidays, the majority of them, the results are not that much. You don't have to worry much about what the kind of noise that you're hearing. Obviously, this is Kempton Park, and we would always have these flying machines around us, and the kind of noise would, from time to time, creep in. But going back to what I was talking about, the good results of schools that are operating normal days as well as during the normal school term, their results are higher. And the schools that are operating almost 7 days a week and even during school holidays, their results are, yes, we do have those that are getting good results between 90 and 100%, but the majority of them are performing very low. And this is the question. Does this mean that township learners are slow to catch, that they deserve a 7 day a week teaching? And I'm saying 7 day because there are schools where you find the matriculants coming to school on a Sunday. Why is that? Have we lost touch with our own capabilities or something of the sort? And this is what actually pains me, because if you move around in schools during holidays, you will find that there are learners that are at school almost on a daily basis. Does this mean that in those schools where the majority of learners, or where between 50 and 70% of learners are black, but the results are coming forth, what is it that they're doing that is different from the township and village school? And this is the biggest issue that I wanted us to sort of interact with. But I need to make a suggestion to you. And this suggestion, I want you to start observing. There's a difference between a functional school and a performing school. A performing school would give you results that are high up there that you can talk about, that would actually be pleasing, but it's cosmetic results. But a functional school can give you results for a period of 100 years without even understanding or without even getting worried about who is the principal of that particular school. Now, if you look at it, the majority of schools that are giving this model, see white schools that are predominantly black in terms of the learner enrollment, you will find that they are having a record of about 100 years of performing good, of releasing good results. But Black Township schools that are actually giving this kind of results cosmetically, you would find that their results are actually having a yo-yo effect. This year they are at 95, next year they are at 90, the other year they are at 98, and the other year they are at 89. So you find that there is a particular fluctuation. But this is where the problem is. So if a school has a proper school-based system, the kind of results they can produce would be consistent and constant at the same level. And in fact, if they are starting at about 70 with a good system, you'll find that within a couple of years, they would actually try taking up a notch of about 98%, if not 100%. But the Model C former white school, you will find that they are consistent regardless of which child comes into the system, because their system is much more functional. And I've done my research regarding this. I've spoken to a number of principals. I have actually challenged principals within the township schools in terms of how they can actually look at this kind of system that would actually give them good results. So the differentiation here is on the kind of system that each school establishes within itself. Yes, we can talk about the education system on its own, but that education system must be translated into a school-based system. And that school-based system is the one that creates a differentiation and brings good results on a consistent and constant basis. Now, here is the thing. Perhaps you might be sitting here and thinking, Mano, today you will actually give us what makes a good system and what makes a bad system. We will actually get into that in the next video. But before we get to that particular one, we would actually speak about the three groups that exist within the school that is capable of creating a good school-based system. And I hope when we do that, you will be able to follow us until the time when we give you a kind of system that would actually be more functional and that can help each and every school to function on a consistent basis for years and years without even getting worried about a teacher that comes in or a manager that comes in. Because if a system is functional, it does not matter who the principal is. Any principal who comes in would find the system intact, and by any means they get to be converted into the system itself. If you bring in learners, maybe 100 learners come into that system, those 100 learners would not change the system, because when they get into the system, they buy into the system, and the system automatically changes them. And that can actually move from a number of factors, and those factors are the ones that we are going to talk about when we discuss a functional system of a school. Thank you so much for catching up with this one, and I hope you would actually go with us into the next video. And until then, God bless.